Right now, there is an island on Earth where outsiders are killed on sight, and the government says, stay away. This is North Sentinel Island, and it has been completely cut off from the rest of civilization by choice. The people who live there, the Sentinelese, have rejected every attempt at contact for over 60,000 years. In 2018, an American missionary named John Allen Chau paid fishermen to sneak him onto the island. He never came back. What happened to him? And why this island exists completely outside of human law is one of the most disturbing stories on Earth. But to understand it, we need to go back, way back, to the very beginning of human history. North Sentinel Island sits in the Bay of Bengal, near the Andaman Islands of India. But it is unlike any other place on the planet. It's only about 23 square miles, smaller than Manhattan, covered in thick, impenetrable jungle. The Sentinelese are believed to be direct descendants of the first humans who ever walked out of Africa. Their ancestors made that journey roughly 60,000 years ago, and their descendants on this island never left. While the rest of humanity built cities, wrote languages, invented the wheel, they stayed exactly as they were. We don't know their language. We don't know their religion. We don't even know what they call themselves. Estimates suggest there are between 50 and 500 of them, but no one has ever been close enough to count. What we do know is this: they are extraordinarily skilled hunters, fishermen, and warriors. Their arrows are so precisely crafted that they can pierce aluminum boat hulls. They have never needed anything that we have, and they have made it violently clear that they want nothing from us. The first recorded contact was in 1867, when an Indian merchant ship ran aground on the island. The crew survived, but were immediately attacked by the islanders with bows and arrows. A Royal Navy ship rescued them days later. In his report, the captain noted the islanders were hostile and warlike. But what happened in 1896 is even darker, and it will change how you see this island forever. Keep watching. In 1886, a convict escaped from a British prison on a nearby island and washed up on North Sentinel Island. When searchers came to find him 3 days later, they found his body on the beach, pierced by arrows. For the next 50 years, the British colonial government simply left the island alone. But in 1967, India, now independent, decided to try something different: peaceful contact. Anthropologist T.N. Pandit led expeditions to the island, approaching with gifts: coconuts, pigs, toys, and cloth. Sometimes the Sentinelese ran away. Sometimes they shot arrows. Once, they accepted the coconuts. That moment in 1991 was celebrated as a breakthrough. Pandit stood on the beach, and Sentinelese actually came close. And then, they disappeared back into the jungle. And the contact program was quietly abandoned. In 1956, India declared the Andaman Islands a protected territory. In 1996, North Sentinel Island got total protection. Today, it is illegal for anyone, including Indian citizens, to go within 3 miles of the island. Which brings us to November 2018, and a 26-year-old American from Washington State named John Allen Chau. John was deeply religious. He was also a trained survivalist, a soccer coach, and passionate about missionary work. His dream, his mission, was to bring Christianity to the last unreached people on Earth. He spent years preparing. He learned basic Andamanese phrases. He practiced. He prayed. In October 2018, he flew to India.
He paid local fishermen $325 to take him to within swimming distance of the island.
His first attempt, they saw him coming. Sentinelese children ran up to him on the beach. He wrote in his journal, "My name is John. I love you, and Jesus loves you." And then a boy shot him with an arrow. The arrow hit his waterproof Bible. He retreated, but incredibly, he came back the next day. On November 16th, 2018, John Allen Chau waded back toward that island alone, against everyone's warnings. What happened next on that beach is something that shook the entire world, and India's government had to make an impossible decision. Don't go anywhere.
Fishermen watched from a safe distance. They saw the Sentinelese attack John on the beach. They saw them drag his body. They saw them bury it on the beach. And then they sailed back to report it. India's government faced a crisis. John's family demanded his body be returned. The world watched. But here's the thing. Who was responsible? John had broken the law. The Sentinelese were only defending themselves. India decided not to retrieve the body. They said the risk to their own officers was too great.
John's father, Patrick Chau, released his son's journals to the public. They were heartbreaking. His final entry read, "Do not blame the Sentinelese if I am killed." He had accepted the possibility. The story went viral instantly. Half the world called him brave. The other half called him reckless. The Sentinelese, who had never asked to go viral, suddenly became the most talked about people on Earth. Anthropologists were horrified, not at the Sentinelese, but at Chau. He had potentially exposed them to deadly diseases.
Here's something most people don't think about. The Sentinelese have zero immunity to common diseases. A common cold could kill their entire population. The flu could wipe them out completely. We've seen this happen before. When Europeans contacted the Andamanese tribes in the 1800s, entire civilizations collapsed. The great Andamanese people once numbered 5,000. After contact, within decades, fewer than 100 survived. This is why India's law is not cruelty, it is protection. Keeping the Sentinelese isolated may be the only thing keeping them alive. But this raises a profound question that philosophers and anthropologists argue about constantly. Do the Sentinelese have the right to choose isolation? Or does the modern world have a duty to reach them? Most experts today say yes, they have chosen, and we must respect that choice, even if we don't understand it. The United Nations recognizes their right to self-determination. India has enshrined it in law. But here's what most people don't know. The Sentinelese are not completely isolated from everything. There's one contact that changed everything. I'll tell you in a moment. In 2004, the Indian Ocean tsunami struck. It was one of the deadliest natural disasters in human history. Over 230,000 people died across 14 countries. The Andaman Islands were devastated. The Indian government sent a helicopter to check on North Sentinel Island, fearing the worst. What they found was astonishing. The Sentinelese were standing on the beach, alive, healthy, and shooting arrows at the helicopter. They had survived the tsunami. Scientists believe their oral traditions and environmental knowledge warned them in time.
While modern coastal towns were devastated, the island's ancient inhabitants read nature better than any warning system. Today, India uses satellite imagery and aerial surveillance to monitor the island from a safe distance. They can see smoke from fires, movement on the beach, the rough number of people, but they can never get close. Over the years, several other individuals and groups have attempted unauthorized contact with the island. In 1974,
a National Geographic film crew approached and got arrows for their trouble. The director was shot in the thigh. The famous footage showed Sentinelese warriors launching arrows and retreating in perfect military formation. Military formation. Tactical retreat. These are not primitive people. They are masters of their environment. The Sentinelese are actually not alone. There are about 100 uncontacted tribes remaining in the world. Most live in the Amazon rainforest in Brazil and Peru. Their existence is known, but contact is forbidden. Governments around the world have learned from history. Contact kills, and so they protect these last peoples.
Organizations like Survival International fight to protect uncontacted tribes from logging companies, missionaries, and tourists. Modern technology has made this both easier and harder. Drones can see them, satellites can track them. But technology also brings more people who want to visit, more boats, more attempts to make contact. Since Chau's death, the island has become almost mythological on the internet, a dark tourism magnet. And here's the question no one can answer, the one that will change how you see everything. What will happen to the Sentinelese in 50 years? Stay until the end.
Climate change is already affecting the Andaman Islands. Rising sea levels threaten low-lying coastal areas. If North Sentinel Island's coastline erodes significantly, the Sentinelese may eventually have no choice but to leave. On the other hand, their isolation may be exactly what saves them. No climate-disrupted economies, no pollution. Some scientists argue the Sentinelese way of life is not backward. It's sustainable in a way ours is not. They have lived in perfect ecological balance with their island for 60,000 years. We have nearly destroyed ours in 300.
John Allen Chau's story isn't just a tragedy, it's a mirror. It reflects everything we assume about progress and civilization. The Sentinelese didn't need to be saved. They were never lost. They made a choice that most of us will never have the freedom to make. They chose their world over ours every single day. And maybe, just maybe, they were right. If this story made you think differently about what civilization really means, share this video, because this conversation needs to happen. I'm going deep on the world's greatest mysteries every week. Subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. See you there.